This is Phantom Electric Ghost, and we're live on our YouTube and Facebook channels today. And we'll be talking about the process of building a new song. But before we go into that, we are a featured podcast on Newsly. So use coupon code GHOST to receive 1 month free premium subscription so you can stop scrolling and start listening. So use coupon code GHOST and get 1 month free premium subscription. We appreciate it if you try that out. That'd be really cool. And you can get alerts for your favorite podcast and news articles fed to you daily on iOS or Android. So check out Newsly. We are a featured podcast on Newsly. We typically interview people from around the world, creatives, life coaches, mentors, authors, musicians. But today we're going to talk about our music. And if you check it out, you can see the link there, the found.ee/Peg Forever Spotify album. That's our last year's album. So check that out. And we'd appreciate that. We've got some other links that we can put up. Latest album, Trash Way, later today. And we'd appreciate that. It'd be really cool. So check it out. We're always into talk sound. So one of the things that we'd like to get into is the process of writing a song. So we had a song that evolved quite differently from an experiment with our analog, Dawless producer. So a Dawless producer is a producer that doesn't use a digital audio workstation. We use hardware, Euroracks, and analog and digital synths. And some of the examples of the synths we have a Moog Grandmother, which is a keyboard modular synthesizer, analog from Moog. It's a more recent Moog. We have a modular Eurorack Mother 32, single oscillator, and a 2 oscillator DFAM, which is the drummer from another mother. It's an analog drum machine from Moog. Inside of a Eurorack case from Arturia called a 6U. And in that Eurorack, we also have an Arturia Mini Brute 2S and 2 modules from a really good Eurorack company, Make Noise. The MATS utility module, which is really good for adding additional envelopes, oscillators, and basically filters and volume controls and mults. And it's just a fantastic machine. You can do a lot of really cool modulation against your original Eurorack equipment, and you can use it to really be the central control over your signals. So you can add low frequency oscillators, as I said, envelopes, additional oscillators, and basically a lot of interesting signal control and routing on your Eurorack, so you can get control of your signal. We also have a Pittsburgh modular 2x4 VCA mixer, which allows us to take the different inputs and change the levels. We have a MX1 performance mixer, allows us to do actual effect processing in real time. And we use a hardware solution as the R20 from Zoom. It's a multi-track, a 16-track multi-track. And our primary keyboard is our Roland Juno GI, which we're hoping to get a new Roland, either a Juno X, a Jupiter X, or a Phantom. Not the Phantom Zero, but like a full-fledged 71 key or 81 key, or 76 key or 81 key Phantom. Maybe it's 88. But we're going to get into the song. We're going to put up the link for the other album that we just put out this year. We put out an album called Trash Wave, which is a kind of hybrid of new wave and punk, and we've always been into that kind of vibe. So we're putting up that link right now, and so you can check out that latest album. We've got another album, Josephine Electric, coming out shortly, and we're going to bring our logo in so you can see like what we're about. So this is the Phantom Electric Ghost logo on the top. You got the Trash Wave link. You go again to https://found.ee/YNBDRO. And you can see that link. You'll be clickable in the description when we get fully published. So we're going to bring up the cue for Skye Elevation. And what happened with this track, initially with the track, called Namwan. And you can see, we'll try to bring that up now. We're going to go into our presenter and switch, actually go to the beginning of this song. So this song initially was created from an exercise on our Moogs. We started with a Moog DFAM beat, and then we got the idea to create some lyrics for it. But the lyrics are very erotic, and it might be a little bit too much. We put a real second. We got some feedback that was maybe too much, but we're gonna play the initial couple of seconds of the if I keep on jumping the gun. But what's interesting with this thing is what's going on in this song. If you ever listen to Public Enemy, you listen to a lot of interesting stuff with choosing noise kind of based samples. One of the cool things about Euro racks or modular synthesizers is you can make your own noise. You don't have to clip. And so what we did with this is we used the Make Noise math module to do some very interesting modulation. And then we have this very like sexed up lyrics about this like fantasy central sexual situation, and then we literally we kind of changed the aspect of the song to become this other song that we're calling elevation, Skye elevation. So it came from being like a very carnal type of song to being a different focus. So the different focus is like more elevation of the soul and eroticism, and more elevated, less maybe abrupt kind of raucous type of thing. That this original song is what the original vibe was, and we're gonna play a little bit of that and show you how it changed. And we added different parts, and so we added different lyrics. We added different parts, and one of the versions has guitar that's a little discordant and a little kind of purposely off the beat, and the other version is without the guitar. So this is the original song, and we're gonna play a little bit of it.
Now one cutie volleyball likes to do it against the dance hall wall. Now one cutie, you thought that's not all. Yeah, now one cutie, love to catch her fall. Me, my ball. Dog ball against the dance pearl wall.
So you see that song is a little getting into that kind of a very explicit, it's central, but it's got that interesting DFAM beat, which is very industrial with like the strange kind of jarring kind of alarm kind of modulation. So that's got that aspect of it. So what we're going to get into now is we're going to pull that SoundCloud down and actually get into, and we'll maybe get back to it later. So we're going to go into StreamYard and remove that screen and bring up the videos that we created for this song. So we're going to stop that screen and start another one, and we're going to present what are the things you can do here. So we're going to bring in Skye Elevation, which we have the two songs, and you'll see it. So we've got our YouTube up with a playlist that we created at our YouTube site. And you can get to Phantom Electric Ghost if you go to youtube.com at Phantom Electric Ghost. You can check out our YouTube, and we've got a lot of different things there, from our podcast to our original music. So we'll get into this, and we're going to play a version of the song that has guitar and a version that doesn't, and then see if you like the one that has the guitar or not. We had a feeling for, we wanted to put the guitar, and the guitar all comes from a Roland Juno GI, and the video actually has me playing it. We're going to get into that right now.
Yes, Skye. Yeah, she's the next level babe at the rave. And she swaps spit with that other babe at the rave. And she had that grave. At the rave. She's got guys like to elevate. At the rave. Yeah, she's the next level babe at the rave. And she swaps spit with the other babe. And let it crave. You'll never be able to fade. Yeah, God likes to elevate. God likes to elevate. And you don't hate. Cause she's the next level, baby. God likes to elevate. Yes, God likes to elevate. Don't, don't you hate it, fade that next level, baby. God likes to elevate. Just she's the next level, babe. That Sky likes to elevate. That she, you ain't afraid to act the rave. Swatch bit with that next level, babe. That act the rave. All you guys don't have no game. Sky likes to elevate. And she's the next level, babe. At other babe. And she swaps what she gains. At the other babe. It's no game. Guy likes to elevate. She's the next level, babe. It's like swaps it with that other babe. Don't you play games? No, you hate babe. And you know, God, she likes to elevate. She's next level, babe. Not into the game, and you better refrain from everything in fade. Ain't I in no way. She swapped me with that other babe. Way, she swapped me with that other babe. Shine, no, I like to elevate. You swap it with the other thing. She not afraid. She's next level, babe. Yes, God, like to elevate. She don't like to call the thing. She's way beyond the hate babe, babe. She swaps it with the other babe. All you guys are afraid. You'll get lost in the next level, babe. Next level, babe.
We're back. Sorry for a little glitching on that. So let me get back to the main screen. So we're trying to come back, but yeah, that's an example of the song totally changed from the Nawan, and we changed the lyrics and we added this kind of really kind of punk aesthetic guitar, and it's all kind of in this kind of fusion, kind of electronic experimental thing. It's designed to be a little discordant and designed to be a little off the cuff. It's just a different structure. But we're gonna get into the version of the song that doesn't have the guitar. We find that interesting because the version that uh, we just saw. So we're gonna get to the next song. We, we got that's getting ready to go. So so we've got it queued up. And you can see the different variation in this song where it doesn't have the guitar and there's the vocal, and it still has the original kind of Namwan electronic uh, strange modulation. And I do like to use the DFAM a lot. It's been a big focus of my work to use the Moog drummer from another mother, which I find very interesting to use because it has some limitations and it creates an interesting kind of industrial beat, kind of been inspired from like a Trent Reznor kind of perspective. But that's the industrial nature of what it can do. And then there's other things you can do because it has limitations. It can only do 8 steps, can't do like 64, can't do chain patterns, but you can record it sequentially using all the controls. And when you do that, you can get varied beats. Now, this example is primarily staying within a range and playing with the LFO to kind of change it near the end of the song. I started, getting a lot of white noise and all kinds of things. You can hear it more in the version that doesn't have the guitar. There are variations happening, especially near the end of the song, what's going on. There's even a make noise sample of additional DFAM stuff that slightly is in under the beat, kind of the shadow of track. So we're gonna bring in this track now, Skye Elevation without the lyrics, and we'll get into it now. If I can start it, it's just not starting. It's a little slow. Good to start when you want, but it's like, come on, it doesn't want to go off. Hold a second. We're getting a little technical issue with the YouTube not kicking off correctly, but hopefully we can resolve it. You really want to get into the song and then it doesn't want to move. So hold a second. We're going on with that. So let's see. Um, let's see what we can do here. So let me see. I might have to get out of it and bring it back in. So that's the nature thing. So let me skew it up again. Never, you get hung up things, but again, our style of recording is what we call stream of consciousness style of recording, where we tend to kind of throw ideas that are kind of rumbling along in our head and put it on tape like somebody doing that. And so over the last couple of days, we kind of refined the concept of the song, and we kind of had this idea of a lady at a rave who's kind of in this kind of very ascendant elevation kind of state. She's been, you know, influenced by the music, influenced by maybe, smoking something, and she's just in this state where she's like fairly becoming like a universal kind of being and connecting to all the things that are happening, connecting to the music, connecting to the people, connecting to her lovers, and it just really having this kind of really really, but an interesting experience, in the world and not being isolated, but being connected. And so there's like an elevated soul. That's the idea of the song. So we're gonna try to get back to my song and get to it. Um, yeah. So we're trying to find it again. We got the playlist. Get into the playlist. Oh come on! It's just like really. Here we go. Get into it. We can get to the next song in the playlist. Yeah, we go. Sky elevation. So now there we go. We got it queued up. So let's get it set up. Got it set up to go. And I apologize for trying to set this up, but we're live, and so we're trying to get into it. So again, this is Elevation. It's the song, the second version of the song without the guitar.
Got the rave, yeah, Skye like to elevate. Got the rave, yeah, she's the next level, babe. Got the rave, and she swaps spit with that other babe. Got the rave, and she had that grave. We got the rave, yes, Skye like to elevate. Got the rave, yeah, she's the next level, babe. Got the rave. And she swapped it with the other babe. And let it graze. You'll never be able to fade. Yes, Skye likes to elevate. Skye likes to elevate. And you don't hate. Cause she's the next level, baby. Skye likes to elevate. Yes, Skye likes to elevate. Don't don't you hate it, fade that next level, babe. God likes to elevate, cause she's the next level, babe. That God likes to elevate, cause she, you ain't afraid to act the rave. Swat fit with that next level, babe. That act the rave. All you dire don't have no game. Yeah, Skye likes to elevate. And she's the next level babe. And other babe. And she swaps what she gains. Yeah, the other babe. It's no game. Skye likes to elevate. She's the next level babe. Just like swaps bed with that other babe. Don't you play games? No, you hate babe. You know, God, she likes to elevate. She's next level babe. Not into the game. You better refrain from everything in fade. God likes to elevate. She's not in the hate babe. Shy in no way. She swaps me with that other babe. Yeah, shy, no way. She swaps me other way. Swap the hate babe game with the guy likes to elevate. You swap it with the other babe. She not afraid. She's next level babe. Just got like to elevate. She don't like the call the dame. She's way beyond the hate babe. She swaps it with the other doctor. You'll get up to the game. Guy likes to elevate. She's the next level babe. Next level babe.
We're back. kind of hear the System 1M, that haunting sound. And one of the things we like to use is a synth we got a long time ago is a System 1M, which is a precursor of the System 8 from Roland, and it's used as a behavioral modeling synthesis, and it basically replicates some older Rolands from the 70s. And what I like about it, I have it in a rack, and it's got basically a slider based synth that has a lot of sliders and knobs, and you can easily see where you are. It's got two oscillators and one LFO, and it's got effects. It has digital effects and a reverb, and it has ability when I connect it to a BeatStep Pro, which is a alternative MIDI input device and sequencer, to do very haunting cinematic stuff. And it's I call it stuff because it's kind of a cinematic synth. It does really interesting haunting sounds, and I'm known as Phantom Electric Ghost, and it kind of fits my motif. And in your last little bit, you heard it, it goes this kind of weird haunting electric sound that is really part of what the System 1M from Roland can do. And it's very, I use it a lot for that. And at the same time, I'm using the analog DFAM in a very industrial way. We're using a patch that came with the synth. You have to wire it up. It's called tribal drums. We altered what the tribal drum patch was. It uses a low frequency, the low pass filter, and it has this really nice kind of rumbling drum tribal nature. And then there's a lot of white noise that can kick in with the make noise math module with envelope control. And we've also got some LFOs from the Arturia Mini Brute 2S. And one of the things with the DFAM drum machine is it's a modular drum machine. So a lot of what you do is not based on samples, it's based on synthesis. It's based on analog subtractive synthesis. And how you manipulate the beat is you can take the patch bay and you can take a low frequency oscillator and manipulate the beat with a square wave at a certain rate will change the way the beat works. So you can basically also introduce envelopes that will have behavior that will happen after time. And so the beat, even though it's 8 steps, like once in a while, it'll actually shift to a certain point in the envelope and change to give you some variation and to give you some like white noise will pop in and out at different points. And it's useful to kind of have this kind of experimental nature of the music. And so what I think I like personally when they all the three tracks, the evolution of this track, they came from Namwan to Sky Elevate and Sky Elevation idea. The final track without the guitar, with a totally different lyrics than Namwan, but the same lyrics as the guitar based one, it kind of brings into focus a lot of the textures I have in the song, from the System 1M haunting to the industrial beat of the DFAM to like the shadow track of a sample. There's even some shadow vocals that had a different set of vocals that's kind of way under the mix that's still there. There's a lot of experimentation going into the song, and it's the evolution of our idea that kind of became more. It still had like a sexual kind of focus, but not as heavy. I mean, the one lyric they talk about, she's swapping, spirit with another babe, and you're like, well, babe could be a guy or a girl. You don't know. You might have an idea because you're where your head's at, but she's at this rave and she's elevating because she's connected to the music, she's connected to the romance of it, she's connected to the whole thing. And so there is that kind of sexual notation of her kissing this babe. Who is the babe? Is there male or female? You don't know. But the idea, I mean, you might have your own concept to think what do you think it is. But compared to Namwan, Namwan was a lot more sexual, more dirty mind focused, kind of like screw against the wall. The idea is it was a lot more carnal, like less so carnal in the final version, and kind of traded some of the carnal lyrics for more elevation, sensuality, kissing. Some people might find it offensive because they're not into it, but it changed from just being raw sex to more like kissing and romance and an idea of elevation. The whole subject changed from the initial song where I was kind of really into this kind of focused where I kind of sometimes get into that kind of dirty mind focus in my music because I'm a big Prince head. And when you're doing a lot of, beat focused electronic music, um, that's using some of these analog synthesizers, you can kind of get into that vibe. Like I understand what Prince was when he was using some of the prophets and modes and stuff that he was using, and the Roland Jupiters and the D50s and the Fairlights. It's like you just get into this really sound painting soundscape that you can build like a mini movie of a scene, and you can use that music to create the scene. And that's the whole idea of like what we do with the Ghost is that we can create these like sound paintings with these synthesizers. And you can check out our YouTube. Go to https:// youtube.com at Fam Electric Ghost, and please subscribe to our channel. We do interviews with people, not just artist interviews. We interview shamans, CEOs, writers, life coaches, sex therapists, all kinds of people. So if you check out our YouTube channel, you can see our latest interviews. We've done maybe like 4 interviews this week. You can check out the variation and the different types of people we talk to. We talk to a lot of women creators. And so if you're a woman creator, it's not been getting good leverage and not been getting anybody to interview you, and you need an interview, you can check us out. We do have a preferred method of trying to get people to come into our world. We've been using this new tool. So the best tool to find guests for your podcast is Podmatch. So if you use podmatch.com/sign up/Fam Electric Ghost, you can check it out. It's basically like a Tinder tool for your podcast. It finds you guest or finds you host. It puts your profile out there, finds matching people to match your podcast profile, whether you're a host or a guest, and finds a place for you to be. So you actually, as a host, you get paid commission, up to 10 times commission for certain guests, and you get paid once a month. And it's a really cool way. It integrates with Calendly, so you get a calendar. Right now, I've got a calendar going to April with all my podcasts. I've been able to go from 4 guests a month to about 13, 14 guests a month, and making about 150 a month from guests. Now that's not a lot of money, but when you were making no money, it's some money. And some months we made $300. It depends on the commission rate. But if you're doing something you love and you weren't really designed to make money, it's a cool way to get your podcast out there again to a community. You can get into conventions and online symposiums with the people from Pod Pros, and it's a pretty cool thing. So we recommend you check that out. And if you want to get connected with us, that's a cool way because you can find us on there and decide if you want to match with us based on what we do. And we have a very wide profile. Again, we've been podcasting since 2016. We've had over 800 episodes. We're on Spotify for podcasters. We're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, video podcast, Apple, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. So we're out there in many, many places, and we have a pretty good reach. And we like to talk to people. That's our focus. Let's talk to people and find out what they're about and give them everybody a platform. That's kind of what we do. So that we'll be glad if you did. Check our YouTube channel again, / at Fam Electric Ghost. Go to youtube.com / at Fam Electric Ghost and check it out. We'll talk to y'all later. Thank you for listening to Fam Electric Ghost. And, be sure to check out Trash Wave. It's one of our latest albums. It's out there. Use that link there. You can click on it. And last year's album was Peg Forever. Now, Peg Forever was one of our favorite albums. It's a big album. It's a big Spotify effort. You can check it out there. And you go to Peg Forever. If you go to Fam Electric Ghost on Spotify or Apple, you can find all of our records. Peg Forever is last year's record. Trash Wave is this year's first record. We have a Josephine Electric album coming out shortly. And we're working on a couple other ideas, including some of the songs you heard today. So thank you again for listening to The Ghost, and we'll talk to you later.